Hi everybody, it's Aubrey from Drafted, and I'm in the Appcues office with founder and CEO of Appcues, Jonathan Kim, and he's going to be answering some questions for us about hiring at Appcues. As the founder and CEO, what are you doing in terms of recruiting, hiring, and sourcing for your team?
Yeah, so it's funny, Vinayak and I have been talking about this, but I actually am pretty hands-on in all of the hiring and even some of the sourcing today at Appcues, and have been for a really long time. On the sourcing side of it, one of the things that we found really early on is that for any founder, CEO, or really, if you look at anybody else in the team, whatever their open rate or response rates are for the messages that they send out to candidates, especially cold, you can essentially 2 or 3x that, sometimes even 10x that, if it's coming from the founder, CEO. And the question that we kept having is like, how do we scale that? And so we started looking for really creative ways to do that, using things to queue up emails or queue up drafts that I could then send out, and even just leveraging other people to help them scale essentially that whole process. I'm still in every single interview. I think probably not alone thinking that founders should try to be in as many interviews as they can to vet people for culture and fit. Yeah, I would say that being really hands-on as a founder and scaling yourself in the hiring process is pretty important.
I know that you guys talk about salary transparency. Would you tell us a little bit about that, what that looks like at Appcues?
Yeah, totally. So the history of that, we decided when we were about 4 or 5 people to have completely transparent salaries. It's something that a company I guess they're a global company called Buffer really inspired us to do, and we loved everything about it. Really the impetus early on was that we did not want to be the kind of company that 5 or 10 years from now lifted its head up and discovered that we're paying, minorities, people of color, differently from other people, even though they're doing exactly the same job. And we felt that the best way to ensure that we don't do that is by making everything transparent and not giving ourselves the temptation of doing something we wouldn't be proud of. And so we started operating from that really early on, and it's been definitely I think it's been amazing for our culture. Transparency is one of the things that's a core tenet in Appcues. It's a cultural value called keep no secrets. And what we found in the hiring process is that at the end of the day, people just want to know that they're getting paid fairly, right? They obviously want to optimize for getting a good salary and a healthy salary, but especially when you're joining a startup, you're not going for the pay, because there are plenty of other places that you can go to get paid a lot, but you want to get paid fairly for the work that you're doing. And having transparency really puts people at ease to just feel like, okay, I know what I'm getting paid, I know how their system is, I know their philosophy. And then taking it a step further, and I can look across from me at somebody else who's doing exactly the same work and know that we're getting paid very similarly or the same.
Do you have onboarding advice for onboarding employees to a company?
That's a really good one. Definitely don't claim to be an expert in this, but the one thing that I've always taken to heart, which previous bosses and managers that I've worked for have done really well, is your first job as a manager hiring somebody, in your first week, first month, first whatever, should be to make that person look like an absolute rock star to the rest of the team, right? Make everybody feel really confident in the decision they made, and even make that person feel confident in the decision they made. And so your job as a manager is to come prepared and planned around what's this one thing that's going to really wow the team, and set them up for a really good trajectory, and then help them continue that momentum all the way through. So that's what I do.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for sitting down with me and talking with me about hiring at Appcues and giving us a little bit of insight in your hiring practices here.
Yeah, this is fun.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.